If you love your kids, hear me out. Hey, I am Chuck the Bureaucrat, and you know that there is nothing I love more than some minor bureaucratic detail that has a huge impact on the lives of soldiers. And if you have kids who are approaching high school age, this one is a big one. Okay, the Army has this thing called High School Senior Stabilization Program, but do not let the name fool you. The intent of this program is to provide stability to soldiers with family members who are in their junior or senior years of high school. That's in the regs. And the regs say that a soldier may be eligible for PCS prior to the junior year. But the Army Chief of Staff and the Army G1 have a little change to the way you submit your applications. You see, the regulation says that the application is due no earlier than March 1st of the student's sophomore year. But the HRC website says that the application is due no earlier than March 1st of the student's freshman year. That's 1 year earlier. Why does this matter? Well, I think we've all met the kind of people who like to do things by the book. But sometimes the book is a little out of step with the guidance that's actually being implemented. If you follow the regulation, you're going to delay your application. Now, there's all sorts of exceptions and special cases that might apply to your personal situation. But there's one particular piece of the high school stabilization program that I want you to pay attention to. All requests for this program will be submitted to HRC regardless of the chain of command's recommendation. You see, the Chief of Staff of the Army wants to time your PCSs in a way that is least disruptive to your junior and senior high school students. So don't let some well-intentioned chain of command work against the intent of the senior 4-star in the Army. And while we're on the topic of high school stabilization, I want to point out one thing that can have a huge impact on your career. And it's something that's really easy to predict and yet often overlooked. The average interval between siblings is something like 2.5 years. So it's not uncommon for a family to have one child who qualifies for high school stabilization. And just as they're about to graduate from high school, the next child in the family qualifies for high school stabilization. If you're not careful about high school stabilization, it can have you stuck someplace longer than normal. Maybe it helps your career, maybe it doesn't. I would recommend that you have a conversation with your family and with your career manager. Ideally, when your family is stabilized, you're stationed at a location that provides a wealth of positions that give you lots of career-enhancing jobs. And it might be worth PCSing earlier so that you get into the right location before high school stabilization starts kicking in. Look, I want you to have the most successful career you possibly can. There is always demand for high-quality field-grade officers. And one of the keys to a successful career is understanding what is coming next. So watch this video on how to map out your career, and let's get out there and make a difference.